জীবন মানে বিলাসিতা।
সমগ্র দেশ থেকে আগত 64টি শিক্ষা প্রতিষ্ঠানের তুখোড় বিতার্কিকদের অংশগ্রহণে স্কুল কলেজ পর্যায়ে জাতীয় টেলিভিশন বিতর্ক প্রতিযোগিতা শীঘ্রই আসছে।
কিন্তু উভয় স্তর থেকেই বেকারত্বকে দূর করা মাননীয় প্রধানমন্ত্রীর উদ্যোগে গ্রাম এখন স্বাস্থ্য, শিক্ষা, যোগাযোগ সকল ক্ষেত্রে উত্তরোত্তর উন্নতিতে ধাবমান।
বিজ্ঞ বিচারক মণ্ডলী আমরা যে বিষয়টি উল্লেখ করেছি যে মানবিক মূল্যবোধ, পারিবারিক এবং প্রাতিষ্ঠানিক শিক্ষায় আমাদের দেশপ্রেম সৃষ্টিতে প্রধান ভূমিকা পালন করছে।
জাপান জার্মানির মতো দেশ রাজনৈতিকভাবে পরাজিত হয়েছে।
রাজনীতি যেখানে পুরোপুরিভাবে অর্থনীতির উপর
দেখবেন প্রতি সোম, মঙ্গল ও বুধবার বিকেল 3:30 প্রযোজনা আল-মামুন।
সম্পূর্ণ অদম্য এক কাতারে তরুণের গল্প বলতে চাই।
সরকারিভাবে নির্দেশ হয়েছে আপনি ঢাকার বাইরে যেতে পারবেন না।
সুযোগটা কাজে লাগাতে পারলাম না স্যার।
তোমরা চাইতে পারবে না, তোমাদের এইখানে ইন্ডিগোতে কাজ করতে হবে।
ইংরেজ বেটা রাইনের এত বড় সাহস!
কি হয়েছে বেগম?
তোর লজিং মাস্টারকে পুলিশে নিয়ে গেছে।
ব্রিটিশ বিরোধী আন্দোলনের কথা বললে প্রথমে ক্ষুদিরামের কথা মনে পড়ে। হক সাহেব মুসলিম লীগের সাথে মন্ত্রিসভা গঠন করছেন বলে হিন্দুরা সবাই খেপে গেছে।
তোমাকে সাহস তো কম না?
সাহসের এখনো কিছু দেখেন নাই, দেখলে টিকতে পারবেন না। না, আমি কোথাও যাব না।
বঙ্গবন্ধু জীবনী নির্ভর অ্যানিমেশন সিরিজ খোকা দেখবেন প্রতি শুক্রবার সন্ধে 6:45। দেখতে চোখ রাখুন বিটিভির পর্দায়।
বাংলাকে আর রাষ্ট্রভাষা না করে পারবেন না।
দ্বাদশ জাতীয় সংসদ নির্বাচন সংক্রান্ত বিশেষ বিজ্ঞপ্তি। ভোটার তালিকায় নিবন্ধিত যে সকল নাগরিকের জন্ম তারিখ 1 জানুয়ারি 2005 বা তার পূর্বে, সে সকল নাগরিকই কেবল আসন্ন দ্বাদশ জাতীয় সংসদ নির্বাচনে ভোটাধিকার প্রয়োগ করতে পারবেন। ভোটার তালিকায় শুধুমাত্র ভোটারযোগ্য নাগরিকগণের নাম ও প্রয়োজনীয় তথ্য থাকবে। যে সকল নাগরিকের জন্ম তারিখ 1 জানুয়ারি 2005-এর পরে তারা জাতীয় পরিচয়পত্র পেলেও ভোটার তালিকায় অন্তর্ভুক্ত হবেন না এবং দ্বাদশ জাতীয় সংসদ নির্বাচনে ভোট প্রদান করতে পারবেন না। উল্লেখ্য, নির্বাচন কমিশন 18 বা তদূর্ধ্ব বয়সী নাগরিকের পাশাপাশি 18 এর নিচে অর্থাৎ 16 ও 17 বছর বয়সী নাগরিকদেরকেও জাতীয় পরিচয়পত্র প্রদান করে থাকে। সুতরাং জাতীয় পরিচয়পত্র থাকলেই সে ভোটার নয়। মনে রাখবেন, ব্যালটের মাধ্যমে ভোট প্রদানের ক্ষেত্রে জাতীয় পরিচয়পত্র বাধ্যতামূলক নয়। জনস্বার্থে বাংলাদেশ নির্বাচন কমিশন।
মাঝে মাঝে আমি ইউরোপীয় ইউনিয়নের ইইউ বাজারে তৈরি পোশাক রপ্তানির পরিমাণে চীনকে প্রথমবারের মতো টপকে শীর্ষে পৌঁছে গেছে বাংলাদেশ। ইইউর বাজারে গত বছর অন্য যে কোনো দেশের তুলনায় বাংলাদেশ সর্বোচ্চ 133 কোটি কেজি সমপরিমাণ তৈরি পোশাক রপ্তানি করেছে। অন্যদিকে চীন রপ্তানি করেছে 131 কোটি কেজির সমপরিমাণ তৈরি পোশাক। গত বছর পরিমাণের দিক থেকে বাংলাদেশের পোশাক রপ্তানি 21.20% বেড়েছে।
Chief Election Commissioner apprises President Mohammad Shahabuddin of election preparedness as the President urges all, including political parties, to come forward to hold a fair election. parliamentary election likely in the first or second week of January. Schedules to be announced soon, informs Chief Election Commissioner. Popularity of Awami League did not wane despite being in the government. 70% of the population still trusts Awami League, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at party's Central Committee meeting in Ganobhavan.
সাধারণত সরকারে থাকলে মানুষের জনগণের কাছে থেকে দূরে সরে যায় অথবা জনপ্রিয়তা কমে। আওয়ামী লীগের কিন্তু জনপ্রিয়তা কমেনি। 70% মানুষ আমাদের উপর নির্ভরতা রাখে।
Many are not at ease with country's development and so they have started playing with fire. These people must be resisted, Prime Minister urges countrymen. Last meeting of the ethnic under the present government held approving 44 projects involving cost of 39,344 crore taka. Israeli raids and bombardment continues in Gaza Strip as thousands of Palestinians flee south from northern Gaza. And New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in World Cup cricket in Bengaluru. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to News at 10. This is Faria Dilshadmo with you. Those were the highlights. Now let's move on to the news in details.
বাঙালি তুমি কাপুরুষ হও না, বাঙালি তুমি জানের জন্য ভয় করো না, বাঙালি তুমি সংগ্রাম করে এগিয়ে যাও। তাই শহীদ দিবসে আজ আমরা শপথ নিয়েছি, রক্ত দেব, দাবি ছাড়বো না, দাবি আদায় করে ছাড়বো।
President Mohammad Shahabuddin called upon political parties and all concerned to come forward to hold next parliamentary elections in a free, fair and credible manner. The President made the call when a delegation of the Election Commission led by Chief Election Commissioner CEC Qazi Habibul Awal paid a call on him at Ganobhavan this noon. At a briefing later, President's Press Secretary Muhammad Join al-Abidin said that during the meeting, the Chief Election Commissioner apprised the President of the overall preparations for holding the upcoming parliamentary elections. President Mohammad Shahabuddin said, free and fair elections strengthen democracy. Noting that democracy and development go hand in hand, the President stressed on continuing the democratic trend for the development of the country. The President said it is not possible for the Election Commission alone to hold a free and fair election. He underscored the need for active cooperation of the people, including the executive branch of the government and political parties, to hold a fair and credible election. President Mohammad Shahabuddin expressed hope that the government will extend all-out cooperation for conducting the upcoming parliamentary election in a free, fair and credible manner. The President urged the Election Commission to play a responsible role with courage and sincerity to hold next parliamentary elections in a free, fair and credible manner in line with the constitutional rules and regulations. The election commissioners and secretaries concerned were present at the meeting. Chief Election Commissioner Qazi Habibul Awal said President Mohammad Shahabuddin has assured of providing all kinds of cooperation to Election Commission for holding a free and fair election. After a meeting with the President today, the CEC told journalists that due to constitutional obligations, the election has to be held by 29th January. That is why the schedule for polls will be announced speedily.
সকলের সহযোগিতায় আসন্ন জাতীয় সংসদ নির্বাচন সাংবিধানিক যে বাধ্যবাধকতা আছে ওর আলোকে যথাসময়ে নিষ্পন্ন করতে সমর্থ হব। দ্রুত আমরা তফসিল ঘোষণা করব, কারণ সময় হয়ে গেছে। নির্বাচনের ব্যাপারে আপনারা জানেন আমরা বলেছি প্রথম সপ্তাহে বা দ্বিতীয় সপ্তাহে, যেটা আমরা এখনো ওই অবস্থায় আছি।
Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina had said holding a free, fair and neutral election is the main target of her government. She said, election is coming. This is the democratic and constitutional right of the people. Protecting this right and holding a free, fair and neutral election is the goal of the government. The Prime Minister said this while delivering her introductory speech in the Awami League Central Working Committee meeting held at her official residence Gonu Bhavan this evening. She said that the democratic rights people now enjoying is the outcome of Awami League's movement and struggle. Coming down heavily on BNP for unleashing arson terrorism again in the country, she said that whenever people live in peace, BNP is active to create anarchy through arson terrorism. She requested all to remain vigilant so that the forward march of the country is not stopped in the coming days.
আজকে যারা এই সন্ত্রাসী কর্মকাণ্ড ঘটাচ্ছে তাদের বিরুদ্ধে জনগণকে আমি আহ্বান করবো। এই 2013-14তেও জনগণই প্রতিরোধ গড়ে তুলেছিলেন, আজকে আবার প্রতিরোধ গড়ে তুলতে হবে যে এই অগ্নি সন্ত্রাসী জঙ্গিবাদ সন্ত্রাসীদের এদের কোনো স্থান বাংলার মাটিতে নাই। বাংলাদেশের মানুষ গণতন্ত্রে বিশ্বাস করে, শান্তিতে বিশ্বাস করে, উন্নয়নে বিশ্বাস করে। সেই বিশ্বাস নিয়ে বাংলাদেশ অপ্রতিরোধ্য গতিতে যেমন এগিয়ে যাচ্ছে, ভবিষ্যতে এগিয়ে যাবে। 41-এর স্মার্ট বাংলাদেশ করে জাতির পিতার স্বপ্ন আমরা পূরণ করব। দেশবাসীকে আজকে প্রতিরোধ করতে হবে এবং তাদেরও সিদ্ধান্ত নিতে হবে ওই অগ্নি সন্ত্রাস, দুর্নীতিবাজ, মানি লন্ডারিং, বোমা হামলাকারী, গ্রেনেড হামলাকারী, জঙ্গিবাদ সৃষ্টি, 10 টাকা অস্ত্র মামলা চোরাকারবারি, এতিমের অর্থ আত্মসাৎকারী, তাদেরকেই পছন্দ নাকি আওয়ামী লীগ যে মানুষের কল্যাণে কাজ করে সেটা পছন্দ, সেটা দেশবাসী সিদ্ধান্ত নেবেন। সেটাই আমরা চাই। নির্বাচন সামনে রেখে এটাই আমার আহ্বান থাকবে। আমরা পরপর 3 বার সরকারে, সাধারণত সরকারে থাকলে মানুষের জনগণের কাছে থেকে দূরে সরে যায় অথবা জনপ্রিয়তা কমে। আওয়ামী লীগের কিন্তু জনপ্রিয়তা কমেনি। 70% মানুষ আমাদের উপর নির্ভরতা রাখে। তারা মনে করে যে আওয়ামী লীগ থাকলে তাদের কল্যাণ হবে, মঙ্গল হবে। প্রতিবার কিন্তু বেড়েছে এই নির্ভরশীলতা। এটা আমাদের কথা না। এমনকি সেই আমেরিকান IRI তারা সার্ভে করেছে, NDI সার্ভে করেছে, আর আরো অনেকেই সার্ভে করছে। সার্ভে করে তারা একই রেজাল্ট পায় যে জনগণের আস্থা, জনগণের বিশ্বাস আওয়ামী লীগের উপর।
The Executive Committee of the National Economic Council, ECNEC, has approved a total of 44 projects costing 39,344 crore taka. The approval came from the last meeting of the ECNEC in the current tenure of the government held with its chairperson and Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina in the chair today. Ministers, Principal Secretary to the Prime Minister, Planning Commission Secretaries and Secretaries concerned were present at the ECNEC meeting. The projects approved in the meeting include canal re-excavation, expansion, reform and development for addressing the water logging at Chattogram Metropolitan, first revised with an additional cost of 3,010.12 crore taka, upgrading the connecting road of Lokhipur, Noakhali and Feni districts with the Bangabandhu Sheikh Mujib Shilponagar into due standard and with 1,404.46 crore taka. Upgrading Shatkhira Shokhipur Kaliganj Highway and Kaliganj Shamnagar Bhetkhali Highway into due standard and with 822.44 crore taka. Extended Dhaka Water Supply Resilience Project with 4,040 crore taka. Dhaka Sanitation Improvement first revised with an additional cost of 1,332.29 crore taka. Bangladesh e-passport and automated border control management formulation first revised with an additional cost of 4,402.45 crore taka. Improvement of urban public health preventive services project with 1,181.5 crore taka. Construction of gas, power and communications infrastructures for Moheshkhali Economic Zone 3 with 1,195.32 crore taka. Joshua Export Processing Zone area with 1,642.73 crore taka. Construction of town and union land offices across the country. Second phase with 1,595.62 crore taka livestock and dairy development project first revised with an additional cost of 1,109.56 crore taka. Integrated infrastructural development of Sylhet City Corporation including extended areas with 1,459.74 crore taka. After the meeting, the planning minister said the Roads and Highways Department under the Road Transport and Highways Division will implement the upgradation of 4-lane project with entire government fund by June 2026. The main objective of the project is to ensure necessary land acquisition on both sides of the highway and utility transfer to upgrade the Bhanga-Joshore-Benapole highway into 4-lane. The planning minister said of the total project cost, 29,953.44 crore taka will come from the government of Bangladesh portion, 7,579.73 crore taka from project assistance, while the rest of 1,561.16 crore taka from concerned organizations' own fund. Commerce Minister Tipu Munshi said efforts are on to control the dishonest businessmen who have been destabilizing markets by hiking prices of goods through manipulations time and again. He said this while inaugurating distribution of Trading Corporation of Bangladesh TCB, a smart family cards and sale of goods in the capital today. The government has come forward with the smart cards to ensure transparency in the activities of the TCB. The initiative will also expedite the TCB arrangements, he added. People of the low-income group received goods with the smart family cards for the first time today. Dhaka South City Corporation Mayor Sheikh Fazle Nur Tapush joined the function as special guest. He said a specific syndicate is hiking prices of goods through manipulations and it is never acceptable. Regarding the upward trends of the prices of goods, the Commerce Minister said markets of potatoes, onions and eggs will be stable soon. Senior Secretary of the Commerce Ministry, Tapun Kanti Ghosh, and TCB Chairman Brigadier General Muhammad Ariful Hassan also spoke. Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina is scheduled to inaugurate the country's largest Ghorashal Potash urea fertilizer factory on November 12. Senior Secretary of the Industries Ministry, Jakia Sultana, said this today while speaking at a press conference marking the inauguration of Ghorashal Potash fertilizer factory at the Industries Ministry conference room in the capital. Jakia Sultana said the fertilizer factory will play a leading role in meeting the increasing demand for urea fertilizer, ensuring supply of fertilizer to farmers at affordable prices. Bangladesh Chemical Industries Corporation BCIC has implemented the project at a cost of around 15,500.21 crore taka, she mentioned. Jakia Sultana also informed that Mitsubishi Heavy Industries Limited and China National Chemical Engineering No. 7 Construction Company Limited jointly constructed the factory, which will have an annual production capacity of 9.24 lakh metric tons. Traffic movement in the capital remained almost normal on the second day of the two-day blockade enforced by BNP Jamaat nexus. No impact of BNP Jamaat's blockade was seen at Dhaka's Kamlapur, Khilga, Rajarbagh, Mouchak, Malibagh, Rampura, Gulshan and Mohakhali today. There were regular traffic jams on various important roads including Farmgate, Shahbagh, Polton, Motichil and Gulistan. However, BNP Jamaat men torched a covered van in Bondur Upazila of Narayanganj. Meanwhile, police, RAB and BGB personnel have been deployed at important roads and points in the capital to maintain law and order. 13 arson attacks have been reported across the country from 6 a.m. Wednesday to 9 a.m. today during the ongoing 48-hour blockade called by the BNP Jamaat. Of these, 5 arson attacks were reported in Dhaka's Hajaribagh, Tatibajar, Kakuli, Mirpur and Dhanmundi areas, 3 in Gazipur, 1 in Khagrachuri, 1 in Rajshahi's Shibganj, 2 in Borishal's Goronodi and 1 in Noakhali, said the Fire Service and Civil Defence's media cell. A total of 7 buses, 4 covered vans and 2 trucks were burnt during the last 27 hours of blockade by the BNP Jamaat men. Dengue situation is still a threat to the public health as 17 died during last 24 hours in the country. A press release of the Director General of Health Services said among the dead, 4 were in Dhaka and 13 were outside Dhaka. 1,734 dengue patients were admitted to different hospitals across the country during the last 24 hours. Among them, 271 dengue patients were hospitalized in Dhaka city and 1,463 patients outside Dhaka. Now, international news. Israel says it has taken over a Hamas stronghold in northern Gaza after a 10-hour battle. Al-Qassam Brigade says it is confronting Israeli forces as they try to advance deeper into Gaza city. Hamas-run authorities say Israeli airstrikes continued overnight, including in Khan Yunis in the south, where 6 people were reportedly killed. Dozens of Palestinians were killed in intense overnight Israeli bombardments in the Jabalia refugee camp in the north and Sabra in western Gaza. Thousands of Palestinians walking long distances to flee the fighting and Israeli bombardment in northern Gaza. An evacuation route allowing people to leave northern Gaza for the south reopens for the 5th day. Israel says 50,000 Palestinians left the Gaza City area on Wednesday via that route. At least 10,569 Palestinians killed in Israeli attacks on Gaza since October 7. In Israel, the death toll over the same period stands at more than 1,400. French President Emmanuel Macron has called for a humanitarian pause in fighting between Israel and Palestinian armed groups in Gaza, saying that Israel must take steps to avoid civilian casualties. Speaking at a conference on aid for Gaza in Paris on Thursday, Macron said that fighting terrorism cannot be conducted without rules, as Israeli pummels the strip with airstrikes that Palestinian authorities say have killed more than 10,569 people. The conference in Paris brings together dozens of countries, international organizations and aid agencies to discuss dire humanitarian conditions in Gaza and is expected to include proposals for a humanitarian maritime corridor, field hospitals and financial assistance as an Israeli sees cuts off access to food, electricity and fuel for Gaza's more than 2.3 million residents. Representatives from several Arab nations, including Palestinian Authority Prime Minister Mohammed Shtete, attended the conference alongside UN officials and representatives of Western countries, although few heads of state or foreign ministers are attending. Leaders of Russia, Turkey, Iran and Pakistan are all making stops in Central Asia as global powers seek to expand their influence in the traditionally Russia-dominated region. Russian President Vladimir Putin touched down in Kazakhstan's capital Astana on Thursday morning for talks with his counterpart Kassym-Jomart Tokayev. The trip comes just a week after French President Emmanuel Macron also paid a visit there, hoping to accelerate economic cooperation. Meanwhile, Turkey's leader Recep Tayyip Erdogan, Iran's President Ibrahim Raisi, and Pakistani Prime Minister Anwarul Haq Kakar are visiting Uzbekistan on Thursday for a regional economic summit. The flurry of engagement shows how the former Soviet countries are opening up to new partnerships as Russia's grip on the region wanes. U.S. Secretary of State Antony Blinken is visiting key regional ally South Korea for talks set to focus on security as North Korea ramps up military cooperation with Russia. Blinken arrived in Seoul yesterday after the G7 foreign ministers meeting in Tokyo and a whirlwind tour of the Middle East on his first visit to South Korea since President Yoon Suk-yeol took office last year. The top U.S. diplomat is set to hold talks with South Korean counterpart Park Jin and is expected to pay a courtesy call to Yoon. The security implications of growing Moscow-Pyongyang military cooperation will likely top the agenda, US officials have said. Now some other international news in brief. The United States has attacked an alleged weapons storage facility in eastern Syria it believes was being used by Iran's Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, and Iran-backed groups.
Over 40 in the last 3 weeks alone. The State Department announced
China said Thursday that climate talks with the United States in California had yielded positive results after the world's two largest greenhouse gas emitters met ahead of the COP28 summit in Dubai.
An expected U.S. visit by Chinese leader Xi Jinping. The State Department said
the world's newest island has risen from the sea off the coast of the Japanese island of Yojima in the Pacific Ocean. The unnamed island was formed by an undersea volcanic eruption.
It's official.
US actors are expected to resume work after their union agreed a tentative deal with Hollywood studios to end a 4-month strike. The shutdown paralyzed the entertainment industry and disrupted numerous major films and TV shows.
In the next few days prior to the union's.
For many businesses, holiday spending is a major part of Q4 revenue. Think Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, and Kwanzaa. Now, as it gains national recognition, US merchants are increasingly embracing Diwali, the Hindu festival of lights, for its commercial potential.
New Year shine brightest in India.
Now, news on sports. New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in the ICC ODI World Cup in Bengaluru. With this victory, New Zealand is on the brink of the semi-finals. Chasing a target of 172 to win, New Zealand reached the victory port for 5 wickets in 23 overs 2 balls. Devon Conway scored 45, Daryl Mitchell 43 and Rachin Ravindra scored 42 runs for the team. Earlier, Sri Lanka won the toss and elected to bat first. They were bowled out for 171 in 46 overs, 4 balls. Kusal Perera scored 61 runs. Trent Boult was adjudged man of the match. To end the bulletin, headlines once again. Chief Election Commissioner apprises President Mohammad Shahabuddin of election preparedness as the President urges all, including political parties, to come forward to hold a fair election. Parliamentary election likely in the first or second week of January, scheduled to be announced soon, informs Chief Election Commissioner. Popularity of Awami League did not wane despite being in the government. 70% of the population still trusts Awami League, says Prime Minister Sheikh Hasina at party's Central Committee meeting in Ganobhavan. Many are not at ease with country's development and so they have started playing with fire. These people must be resisted, Prime Minister urges countrymen. Last meeting of the ECNEC under the present government held approving 44 projects involving costs of 39,344 crore taka. Israeli raids and bombardment continues in Gaza Strip as thousands of Palestinians flee south from northern Gaza. And New Zealand beat Sri Lanka by 5 wickets in World Cup cricket in Bengaluru. And that was all from the newsroom for the moment. Thank you for staying with us. Dear viewers, we invite you to watch our next 11:30 Bangla News. And we request you all, please keep your homestead neat and clean and stay safe from